Hey, what's up you guys, it's Caboose XB. I'll bring you another Spider-Man PS4 video, and today what I got for you guys is a massive news roundup talking about a bunch of information that came out about this game after the release of that 9-minute demo that premiered during the Sony press conference at E3. Before we get into all that though, I just wanted to ask you guys if you could leave a like rating on this video. It shows your support and I would really appreciate it, so if you could leave a like, that would be awesome. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. So, one of the biggest pieces of information that I found very important and very intriguing was about Mr. Negative. Now, we saw Mr. Negative in that gameplay demo, and he seemed to be the main villain, as of course we did see his goons when the official announcement trailer for Spider-Man PS4 premiered a year ago. So everyone was assuming, okay, if these were the thugs that they were kind of showing off when this game was first announced, it's highly expected that Mr. Negative was going to be the main villain of the game. And then after seeing Mr. Negative in this gameplay demo from E3 2017, everyone was kind of pretty much assuming that is the case. However, the creative director working over at Insomniac confirmed that that isn't the case. Mr. Negative is just only going to be a villain in the game, and he's describing that the character is going to have an elevated spot amongst the Spidey villains. So yeah, he is going to be one of the more prominent villains in the game, but he is not the main primary antagonist in the game, which I am very intrigued by now, because I wonder, maybe is it going to be something to do with Harry or Norman Osborn? We do see those signs throughout the gameplay trailer that say that an Osborn is running for mayor, which is very intriguing. So I'm wondering now, considering that they have confirmed that Mr. Negative is going to have an elevated spot and he's going to be one of the main antagonists, I guess you can say, in Spider-Man PS4, who is the top dog that is pulling all the strings? That's what I want to find out. Also, I know some people were a little bit worried about the fact that looking through that gameplay demo that was premiered at E3 2017, that maybe the game was going to be a bit of a linear experience, that you were kind of going to go from mission to mission, just doing what you can and having that kind of Uncharted experience where it's not necessarily open world. The world is massive and you get to do a lot within those missions. However, that is not the case. The game is 100% going to be an open world, and Insomniac is teasing that the Manhattan map they're going to use for the game is going to be a big one. It seems like we're going to have a lot of space to traverse in, a lot of swinging to do with Spidey, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fine-tuning with the swinging, of course, to make it a little more speedy. Maybe there's going to be some stuff that you can upgrade your character with, kind of similar to what you can do in the Amazing Spider-Man games, where you can upgrade your character with some XP and things like that, and that updates your swinging capabilities and allows you to swing even faster through the city. So yeah, it's going to be open world. There's definitely that aspect to it, so fret not. It's not going to be a linear game where you're just going mission to mission in one straight line. Another massive thing that was shown during this gameplay demo, although I don't think it was shown during the actual premiere of it at the Sony press conference, but if you watch the video itself on YouTube, you can see right at the end of the demo, there's a bit of an after credit scene, as they usually should do with all this Marvel related stuff. But at the end of the demo, you see someone who is recording all the wreckage on their phone. A person calls to them, and it turns out it is Miles Morales, which is insane. Now, people thought that maybe this was kind of just a throwaway thing, a little bit of an Easter egg, a nice little callback to some people who know about the character. But no, Insomniac has indeed confirmed that Miles Morales is actually going to play a role in Spider-Man PS4's Story Mode. So I am very interested to see what they are going to do with that character. Are they going to lead him on the path to how he also becomes Spider-Man? Some people are even speculating, considering the whole story of what happens with his character in the comic books, that maybe they're going to go the route of the death of Spider-Man and have that be a key thing that happens in the story mode, and then you immediately switch perspectives from then on, playing as Miles Morales as he learns the ropes and becomes Spider-Man himself. I think that would be one of the coolest things ever, although considering there's going to be a lot of kids that are maybe going to get this game, that might be a bit of a traumatizing thing, watching a video game where Spider-Man dies. I don't know if they're going to go that route. And they have said, Insomniac has said, that this is going to be a 100% original story that doesn't borrow too much from many comic books. Obviously, that's going to be based on some of the comic book characters. Of course, they're going to have characters like Mr. Negative, Wilson Fisk, and Spidey being the title character, but what they're trying to do is build a completely original story and not pull from too many different comic book lore, so that people don't expect what's coming, like what everyone is speculating with the death of Spider-Man. Another noteworthy thing about the story mode, Peter Parker is 23 years old when the story mode takes place in Spider-Man PS4, and he actually no longer works for the Daily Bugle. In fact, he is pursuing a career in becoming a scientist. Insomniac also mentioned that we would be pretty surprised to see who Peter Parker is working for in this game. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and just guess that he is probably working for Curt Connors, of course, who becomes the Lizard, which might be one of the villains that we see in this game. I'm assuming that's something that we might end up going down with what's happening here. He's becoming a scientist. It definitely works. It definitely makes sense. Curt Connors also being a scientist, similar to what they did in the Amazing Spider-Man film. Overall, the mantra over at Insomniac when it comes to Spider-Man PS4 seems to be that the game is not necessarily just about Spider-Man, but more so about the guy behind the mask, Peter Parker, and they're going to have that duality. He's going to have a bit of a power struggle in that, yes, he is chasing Martin Lee. He's trying to take down this guy because it's Mr. Negative. He's wrecking shop. He's carrying a wrecking ball on a helicopter and taking down buildings and cranes. But at the same time, this is the Martin Lee that owns a homeless shelter that Aunt May works at. So he's going to have that bit of a power struggle in that, what is he supposed to do to this person? How is he going to try to reason with them? How is he going to try to figure out why Martin Lee is doing what he is doing? So that is something that I'm very excited and very intrigued to see on how they handle the Peter Parker side of things. So very excited about that, and I'm glad that Insomniac isn't just making this a Spider-Man game, because that could have been a very easy, very safe way to make this Spider-Man game, but no, they want to go the extra mile. They want to make that Peter Parker story, have that duality, have that power struggle in that what is he supposed to do when it comes to a villain that he knows on both sides of the spectrum. We also have known since the game's announcement, but have gotten a second confirmation on the fact that the design of the Spidey suit in Spider-Man PS4 and having the white symbol and everything, there is a reason towards it, and there's actually a meaning behind it. Now, whether or not this is going to be something that is emphasized in the game is something that we'll have to wait and see, but if I'm just going off of a basis of guessing, I'm guessing that the whole suit overall is an homage to all three of the Spider-Man that we've gotten on film. Of course, we have the eyes, which is something that you're seeing most prominently now with Tom Holland's iteration of Spider-Man. You have that long Spidey symbol that goes all the way down the torso, similar to what they had in the Amazing Spider-Man films. And then you have that classic Spider-Man symbol on his back, which is very similar to that of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. Now, that is what I'm guessing is the meaning behind the suit, but I'm assuming that maybe there's going to be something that actually relates directly to the story mode of the game. Maybe it has something to do with a love life. Maybe it has something to do with Gwen Stacy. I guess we're going to have to wait and see, but they have mentioned once again that there is a meaning behind the white symbol, behind the suit overall that he has in Spider-Man PS4. And now I think the biggest piece of news to wrap up this entire news roundup is the fact that Insomniac has indeed confirmed via Twitter when asked about it that there will indeed be alternate Spidey costumes and alternate Spidey suits that you can use and wear in Spider-Man PS4. That is something very, very exciting, and I'm so glad that we now have an official confirmation on that. Although, I think that was fairly assumed. When you go into a Spider-Man game and you don't give him some of the other awesome costumes that he's had from the comic books, you're definitely having a missed opportunity there. So, I'm very excited to see what Insomniac brings to the table with that, and with all the stuff that I've mentioned here. All this sounds incredible. I cannot freaking wait for this game, and I'm so glad that we've gotten all this news, because it's definitely fed my hunger that I have had for news for this game that we have waited for over a year now. So, with all that said, let me know what you guys think. What did you think of the Spider-Man PS4 gameplay demo? What did you think of all this news? What's your favorite tidbit of the news that we got here today? I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments section below. I'm Caboose XBL, and once again, if you can leave a like rating on this video, it shows your support, and I would really appreciate it. And you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.